Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. Welcome to the Book Report here on the Random Media Guide channel. The Book Report is the show where we talk about books of all kinds, science fiction, fantasy, thrillers, mysteries, and even nonfiction. I found these books interesting, and I think you might find them interesting too. My name is Dan, your leader into the land of literature. This week we'll be returning to the land of the rising sun, the land of the three countries, to a conflicted region. We return to Tales of Otori. And last we left off in the book, Takeo had recently given a prophecy that he would rule the three countries, the three lands of his region. He would bring an end to the conflict and unite the three clans under his leadership. And he recently married his squeeze, Shirakawa Kaede. So let's get into the third book of the series, Brilliance of the Moon by Leanne Hearn. So this book basically deals with Takeo's battles. So he remember if you don't remember from the prophecy given in the second book, he's got 5 battles to engage in, 4 to win, 1 to lose. So the beginning of the book is him planning what he believes to be his first battle, the it's called the acquisition of Maruyama for his wife Kaede. So he's planning, he's hooking up with his council, who consists of himself, Kaede, the monk Makoto, and the Miyoshi brothers, guys who he, I guess you'd say, went to school with. They were taught by the same teacher, Ichiro, and they basically said, "Hey, listen, Ichiro's supposed to be coming. He's basically protecting your property in Hagi from the uncles." Now, one day, some of the Tory warriors show up. Those who are not said, "Hey, we're loyal to you," and said, "Yeah, the uncles say, fuck you." Oh, and here's Ichiro's head, and throw it over the barrier of the temple. Now, just piss off Takeo and the Miyoshi brothers. Before they kick those guys' ass, the farmers who basically came to pay respect to them freaked out and beat the crap out of the warriors. So I was like, okay, well, this clearly shows that they're nearby and they're bold enough. And he's like, okay, maybe I need to start preparing to leave to go to Maruyama. And this is he's even more encouraged when the outcast Joan shows up and says, "Yeah, they're literally trying to surround you." He said, "I was like, well, what am I gonna do?" I was like, "Well, remember that path I told you about how to get here? Well, there's a fork in the road that takes you over the mountains, so you get to a river and you literally go straight west." Like, okay. So Takeo basically assembles the army in the middle of the night, gets them slowly moving over the mountain. Eventually, they come to the river they need to cross, but the bridge is out. Lucky for them, the outcasts are building a bridge, and when Takeo goes to see them, he's like, "Hey, we need to get this thing across the water." So he gets on his horse, swims across, ties it across, and this is at that point the beginning of the first battle kind of happens. This is not the battle of Mariam, but something else. You see, apparently bandits have been fucking with the area, and Takeo encounters a giant of a man. Like, think Game of Thrones giant. He's called Jinnymon. And he's like, "Hey, my army's coming through to go through Maruyama. Let's through." It's like, "No, you gotta pay a toll or we're gonna kick your ass." So it becomes kind of like David and Goliath fight between him and Jinnymon. Eventually he takes him down using a combination of his tribe skills and his badass with a sword. He gets back to the river, and none of his army's crossing. He goes across and yells at Mikoto, "What the hell's going on? I could have been killed, and why are you moving across? Because the Tory army, the enemy, could be behind us." He's like, "Well, they fear pollution. There's a thing in Japanese about Japanese culture. There's a thing in Japanese culture about death being bad for the stuff. There's a whole mythology about that." So eventually he says, like, "Listen, I'm your boss, and if you don't like it, you can go back to doing what you're gonna do." So like, "Well, fine." And he goes, "I crossed the river. I'm fine. Now go." So they all cross the river, and then apparently Jinnmon's had friends. So they have a small skirmish with them and kill off the bandits. At that point in time, I was like, "Is this really a first battle?" I mean, because it's a skirmish, but is it really a first battle? And he kind of turns to the code like, "Is it really a first battle?" It's like, well, you're the Lord. You get to choose what you want. So turns out these guys have been stifling the village. The villagers are happy. They give them supplies, and they go on to Mariyama. After they deal with the village, they get to the border to Mariyama, and something's up. See, apparently some of the tribes decided to work with the Tohan remnant, who's run by Ida Nariaki, Ida's cousin, and they find a boy who's basically was stuck in the storage house, and his name is Sugita Hiroshi. Now he turns out to be the nephew to the senior retainer of Mariyama, Sugita Haruki. He's like, what happened? He's like, well, I was going to get stuff, and these invisible guys popped up and killed my dad, and then the Tohan came through. He's like, well, shit. Not only there's tribe and there's Tohan. He's like, okay, if your uncle had to deal with a battle, where would he go? Setsuria asks Hiroshi. So they're like, oh, we'll go this area. So they go up, they meet up with the Mariyama, and they basically perform like a triple pincer, where Takeo sends off his cavalry and his foot soldiers, who were with us, also part of his farmers, and they basically kick ass. And Takeo gets to fight Ida Nakiaki, who's wearing a very similar armor to Ida Sadamu, who's like, oh, finally, it's just a battle I wanted to do with Ida. Yes! So they do their fight, and he wins. And he goes about, let's go fix Mariyama. Let's build up the castle. Let's get the land going. And he also decides, because he brought the records he got from Matsuda Shingen, the abbot Terayama, it's like, okay, now we're going to set out taking care of the tribes in this area. Now we switch over to Shizuka, who is basically gone back to the hidden village above Yamagata, and she's talking with Kenji about what are you going to do about what's going on. She also meets up with her sons, one of her sons apparently got like tribe powers better than she does, on near the level of Takeo, but he doesn't have some like the really badass powers like knockout sleep. Now we switch back over to Takeo, who's like, okay, now I need to figure out how I'm going to win my third battle, which he wants to do a siege on Hagi. And one of the ideas he comes like, okay, well, I can't take it by simply siege direct. It's like, well, what about a naval engagement? And he's like, I know some guy. His name is Terada Fumio, and his dad are like pirates. Well, they were samurai who basically were forced due to high taxation to basically become pirates. So okay, I'll go talk to him because they're not gonna accept anyone but me. And he turns to Miyoshi and goes, okay, I need you to go talk to Arai, and maybe we can work out an alliance because it'll be a lot easier to take Hagi if I can get him to back me. I mean, I know he might be pissed because I'm married Kaede when Lord Fujiwara kind of said, I'm thinking about it. While he's on the road down, he runs into a kind of poor village, and it turns out they've been having the worst time. Bandits, and he talks to one of the guys. He's like, I need to get to this island where the Terada are. Like, well, there is a guy who can get you there. His name is Ryoma. So Ryoma comes and meets up with Takeo and gets him on his boat, and they start going across. And turns out that Ryoma is actually a bastard of Otori Masahiro. So technically they're cousins. And he says, well, what do you want from me as taking over? He's like, well, all I ask is when you oust my father and his brother, that you give me my name. You make me legitimate. So he's like, well, fine. That's a deal. So Takeo goes to the island where the Terada have set up. So Takeo ends up meeting with Lord Terada. That's the best I could call him. And he says, "Here, check this out. I got this off a ship already, and it turns out to be a spyglass." He's like, "Okay, that's pretty cool. Where'd you get this? What got this from these white guys?" And they also have weapons that use fire and lead to take out things from a distance. So he's obviously talking about early rifles. So he's like, "Okay, we'll make a deal. We'll help you attack Hagi once the typhoons have calmed down." So Takeo is delayed by a typhoon. Eventually meets up with Makoto. And that turns out all Takeo was gone. Kaede wanted to go and get her sisters from Shirakawa. She didn't quite trust her father's former senior retainer. She goes there. It turns out that he had been asked to let them go visit Lord Fujiwara. And when she's talking to him, he doesn't want to refer to her as Lady Otori, recognize her marriage status to Takeo, and so he's referring to her as Lady Shirakawa. Apparently, I think that was because Lord Fujiwara still desired her and he wanted to. So she goes over to Lord Fujiwara demanding her sisters back, and it turns out they're not there. And her escort are jumped. Now, lucky for her, Shikita Hiroshi, the young kid from earlier, was with her, and his horse spooks, and he ends up going all the way back to Maruyama. So Takeo finds this once he gets to Maruyama, but on his way back there, he's nearly a victim of a sniping by Bo. Now it turns out one of the guys he used to train with, one of the Kuda guys, was sniping, and he comes up behind him, and he basically says, "Okay, what's your deal?" And the guy's like, "Hey, your kid's born now. It's a son. Oh yeah, and Yuki's dead. So the mom's dead." And he's like, "Shit, this sucks." So when he gets back to Maruyama and finds out that Kaede is missing, and then later on she's been kidnapped, that whole kind of combination just makes him like become rash, and he goes to get his waifu back. But unfortunately, on the way to Fujiwara's estate, Fujiwara's forces kind of say, "Come on, we can, we're gonna basically stop you from coming." She goes to fight them, and then they do a retreat. It turns out, because the way the battlefield is over the crest of the hill, Rai has army there. He's like, "Oh," but Matakeo thought about this ahead of time. He says, "Well, there might be more people. So if I say retreat, let's get out of here and head towards the coast." So the minute he sees all these extras, like, retreat, which confuses Rai and Fujiwara's forces, so they're not able to catch up to them really fast. So it's like, so Takeo's like, "Okay, should I just lost?" And something, well, maybe this is that third battle, that one I need to lose. So that means all victories are ahead. And he kind of tells the story to Makoto. That's why you're asking about Jinemon. So they get to the coast, and Orion pops up. Or at least a message says, "We want to discuss terms." So Takeo goes to see Arai. He's like, "All right." He starts like berating him. Then once his advisor says, "Okay, now that's all the way. Let's make an alliance. I want you to help me take Hagi." And he's like, "Well, in exchange, you're gonna recognize me as the heir, right?" He's like, "Sure." So they drink to. He says, "By the way, I've heard rumors about you being a hit." He's like, "No, I'm not." Like, "Good. You're gonna prove it to me." And apparently Joan was heading back to Maruyama and was picked up. He's like, "Okay, prove your loyalty to me." And Takeo is basically forced to kill Joan. But we find out kind of earlier Joan said, "Listen, if I'm gonna die, please make it quick." So he kind of felt like he felt bad for doing it, but in some ways he kind of felt better because like, okay, you're not being tortured to death. So okay, all right, we're gonna get started on this, invasion of Hagi. Meanwhile, we shift back to Tezuka and Kenji. Kenji's just distraught. He found out his daughter died, that the Kuda won't give him his grandson, and he goes to Tezuka and says, "I can't deal with the Kuda anymore. We're gonna break off. I think I can get the lesser tribe families under my control, but I'll never get the Kuda because they're too freaking inflexible." She said, and he goes, actually said, "By the way, I was wondering, how did Shigeru know so much about the tribe?" She's like, "Well, I actually told him." She's like, are you mad?" He's like, "Well, before this, my break with the Kuda, I would have been mad, but hey." So they go out to meet up with Takeo, and as a guarantee, she hands over her two sons, Taku and Zenko, who are both sons of Rai. Now we find out from Kondo, who had gone to Inuyama for a while, that because of smallpox breakout, Arai's legitimate son is dead, so he's looking to adopt Zenko and Taku as his sons, legally, so they can inherit. So they said, well, you know what? Now that we're all together, Taku and Takeo and all these guys, we can get ready for the invasion. So he sends part of his army to help out Arai on the land, and he meets up with Terada and Ryoma on the coast. And Ryoma shows up with a matchlock musket. He's like, "Hey, check out my new toy." He's like, "You want to see me demonstrate?" Like, "Well, sure. Like, you got any money you can spare?" Like, well, "We just kidnapped, we just raided some bandits stronghold, and we have some left. So show me your gun." And he shows him like, "Whoa, this is cool." I mean, mind, these guys never encountered anything but swords before. After demonstrating his firearm, they set off for the naval part of the siege of Hagi. Now, Taku, Kenji, and Takeo go with Ryoma and take his boat to the castle, and then basically they sneak up and they wait till dawn when the conch is blown, and the uncles come out like they think it's Shigeru. He's like, "No, I am Shigeru's heir. I am his nephew, and technically your nephew too. You killed him. Prepare to die." And then he gets in a sword fight, kills the Soichi. Masaru fills off the boat, and when he surfaces, Ryoma, who's his son, because he's got daddy issues, slits his throat. And then after taking out all his cousins and stuff, basically go to the senior retainer and say, "Okay, so either you serve me or you die." They're like, "Well, we'll serve you." So good. Now Rai is supposed to be helping us, free the city from the uncles. Let's go meet him. Now we find out that Rai is not happy with just defeating the uncles. No, he really wants to wipe out the entire Otori. He got so drunk on power. He's like, "Well, fuck you guys. I'm the super daimyo." He's like, "Well, Rai, you breaking faith, you asshole. You need to, you're gonna remember for this." And so for me, I was like, "Hey, do you want me just to shoot him?" And he apparently didn't know if he get shot, but he got shot. And then there's a big earthquake, and things go crazy. And they basically have to go and work on rebuilding Hagi. We shift over to the Fujiwara residence, where Kaede has been locked away like a prized doll. Now it turns out that Shizuka had gone to meet up with Fujiwara's doctor, who she had been having an affair with, to try to find a way to get an end message to Kaede. She gets captured, and Fujiwara's like, "I'm gonna torture them because he's a fucked up man." Lucky for them, Kondo shows up the last time. He says, "I've come here with a message from Lord Arai." But then he ends up fighting, and then the earthquake happens. He frees Shizuka and Shida, and they get away from Fujiwara because there was a house fire. But Kono, because A, he killed Kaede's dad, and B, he cuts off Fujiwara's hand because he was trying to keep Kaede from leaving. He's like, "Listen, I've done some fucked up. I killed a lord, and I just injured a nobleman. I'm gonna die here with honor." Basically, he dies in the fire. Afterwards, we shift back to Hagi, where Takeo's kind of hanging out with Kenji and Taku, but then Kotaro pops up at Shigeru's house. He's like, "Just tell me one question." Take asks, "Why did you kill my dad?" He's like, "Well, we drew lots." He's like, "Now we fight." And then, so he gets in a fight. At the time, he's unarmed because this happens tonight, and Takeo ends up being like this for the rest of his life. And Kenji and Taku help him take down Kotaro, but there was poison blade, and he goes through a freaking acid trip. And after he gets well, they decide we need to go to Shiragawa because apparently when Kaede had gone, she'd also left the records in a special cave that's only for women. So well, we gotta go because the shrine lady will only give them to him. So they go to the shrine in Shirakawa, And it turns out Kaede is alive, but when she was escaping from Fujiwara's house, because the her maid, who was the evilest bitch ever, had put a lot of oils in her hair. She basically got her head burned. So the story kind of ends there. They kind of do a flash forward where it talks about, it's been like 17 years since, the battles, and it's all great, and that Kenji had tracked down, his grandson, or Takeo's son, and they're keeping an eye on him. And that's where it leaves off. Now, there are two more books out of this. There's what's called The Harsh Cry of the Heron, which is a sequel and deals with Takeo's end, and then there's a prequel called Heaven Nets is Wide, which deals with kind of Shigeru's story and also shows the death of Samu, Takeo's dad. So they're both nice bookends. I might talk about them later, but I won't today. By the way, if you notice the factoids I put in the video, those were courtesy of stuff I learned through the great courses on Audibles. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. My name is Dan, and I will see you